Hey everyone, today I'm going to be telling you guys how to use a base properly. I know it's kind of, I guess, controversial to tell people how to use a base since they are not really supposed to have any instructions to go with them. Like, you're just supposed to use them how you please. But there are ways to use a base that is actually detrimental to your learning of how to draw than actually helping it. Which you'd use a base to help you learn to draw and not make it harder. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to show like a few ways that people use bases incorrectly and just go off of that. So let's just get started. So to start off, I am using this base that I found from DeviantArt. The base is like a free-to-use adopt base. It's from Sarah Adopts on DeviantArt. I'll show like a picture of it up here, and I'll put a link in the description to the person that made it. But yeah, that person basically made this base, and it's always good to like credit your bases, by the way, whenever you use them. So, anyways. So the first thing that I notice a lot of people like do is that they won't like sketch their art first, which is really weird to me. Like, they won't sketch what they want to put on the base. Instead, they'll just go ahead and just start and just draw it, you know, and just leave it like how it is, which is really difficult to do first. And secondly, it's really like, if you want to change anything later, it makes it harder because, like you can see on this bow I'm doing, like, it's really difficult to change something once you've already drawn it. And whenever you have like you don't have a sketch layer, it's really hard to like discover what you want to do, because a sketch layer is supposed to help you, like, you know, sketch out what you want to do with the picture. And so you really want to do that, but a lot of people I've noticed just don't do that. And so the next thing I kind of notice that people will do is like they will, I don't know, just kind of make it really simplistic to the point where you have no idea who this is supposed to be. Like, this is obviously a really, you know, simplistic looking character. Like, I just wanted to go for the most bare bones basic kind of anime trope, since this is a chibi character. And while it's not like a bad thing to have a bare bones character, it just it accentuates the base even more, you know. Another thing I've noticed a lot of people do is they will like not remove the base. Like, they won't draw over the base. They'll just keep the parts where it's exposed. And so it looks really jarring. Like, you can see whenever I'm zooming in is that you can see it where it's all blurry and stuff because it's just a PNG. And I have my line art that's really thick and clean looking next to this blurry fuzzy image that I just turned into like a PNG for a split second to draw over this. And it looks really weird, especially whenever you have it like side by side. Like, in a second I'll show it's like side by side. It looks really weird whenever I get done with this painting. But now, since we're on to the coloring, this is another thing that I just keep noticing. Like, people just use the paint bucket tool and they won't fix up the lines, which I decided not to do this time, which it really bothers me when people do it, but I decided not to do it this time to clean it up, because it's you know, it's supposed to be what's wrong with people using the base, but I guess it just makes me really upset whenever I see people do that, and it just looks really, I don't know, it looks really bad. Because you know, it doesn't look clean anymore. And I guess I can see if someone wants to be like, oh, I want to do a messy drawing, but like, it doesn't work whenever it doesn't look intentionally messy. Like, I do like intentionally messy drawings. This isn't an intentionally messy drawing. It's supposed to be clean, but then you have your color sticking out your lines all everywhere, and it doesn't look right. And so like, I keep getting distracted by the lines. They're just so fuzzy. It looks so weird. But yeah, I'm wondering what you guys will think about like using a base, because I know a lot of you are probably artistically inclined yourself because you're looking at this video, but like, what do you guys use bases for? I've never actually used a base before this video. It was actually pretty, I guess, fun to use, but it was at the same time really difficult because you have to fit into what to do this wrong side, I had to fit into what the base wanted me to do. But just you know, a little bit of a new experience for Dakota. And so yeah, you can obviously see whenever I zoom in really close, like you can see which lines are the base lines and which lines are my lines, because the base lines are really fuzzy. But anyway, let's go on to the next one. Okay, so here's the good side, as I like to call it, but it's really, in the end, I don't know if I really like it all that much, but it looks, I can tell you 100% it looks way better. So I am doing a sketch right on top of it. Really, the way you should use a base is just to have an outline, so it'll help you with designing the anatomy and making sure that everything looks right in the context of, you know, maybe a more experienced artist artwork. It shouldn't really be there as like a bare bones skeleton. It should be there more as a reference. The best way to use a base is for a reference, like you just put it side by side and, you know, do it like that. But, you know, whenever you're starting off, I can understand how that's really difficult. So you should really just be sketching over top of it so that you have more lenience and you can have more fun drawing it, because it takes the fun out of drawing whenever you have like this, I don't know, you have this already pre-made body here just in the background for you, already made and already done for you, and you just draw like the clothes or the hair and things like that, and so it takes out the fun of drawing. But whenever you're like sketching over top of it, you're actually like, you're not really tracing it, you're just using it as a reference, really. And that's what I was doing. I was just trying to use the base as sort of an outline for what the character should be posed like, and what the character should really just be, how the energy should be with the character. And that's how you should always use your bases. Also, you can probably notice I didn't leave any of the base's lines in the background, which it makes it look 1,000 times better to just have the base like not in the background at all times. It looks 1,000 times better to draw your own lines and to just have the base be like something that you referenced and that you link in your description of your drawing on DeviantArt or whatever you're posting your art on. But that's basically the major pet peeve that I have with base users. They'll just, you know, leave the base there. Another pet peeve I have is like whenever people are coloring it and they just use the paint tool bucket. I know I already touched on this a little bit. I like to color it all by hand. Like, I don't like using the paint tool bucket. That's probably because of Photoshop and it sucks at that. But like the paint tool bucket just really, it's like cheating. It's like cheating a bit. Not that I'm like shitting on anybody that does use the paint tool bucket, but it's just something that I wouldn't do, because it makes it more, I don't know, it makes it more fake, I suppose. Like, because you have to go back anyway and fix up all the little details that you might have missed or whatever. And so why not just color it by hand? It makes it like 1,000 times more satisfying, to be honest. But whenever people do use the paint tool bucket and then they just don't fix up those little lines, that really screws me up. Because sometimes those little lines will just be, those little white spots, you know, they'll just be sticking out, and you will like definitely be it'll just be like really distracting, because people will be looking at the weak points of your drawing instead of your instead of the strong points. Like, for instance, people will probably notice more the eyes on this one instead of like, I don't know, how cool the outfit is, or how nice the shoes I think they look. People more notice like how the eyes look kind of weird on this one because it's like a weaker point. But anyway, you should really just like, you should really just draw your own lines, and you should try and color it slowly instead of trying to rush it by using the paint tool bucket, because it really makes a difference. It shows in how much work you put in a painting by um, what tools you use and what medium you use. But yeah, this is really just something I've noticed a lot. People just don't like to take their time on art, and so that's what this was really just for. So yeah. Here I'm blushing a little bit because I noticed it looked a little bit bare bones, but I hope it looks okay. Um, but yeah, that's it.